I am a retired professor of theater in the University of Liège, but still active in the theater in which I have been working since, more than 40 years. So we are a university theater, I would say, very active first, and very often abroad. Up to now, we have visited 36 countries in 4 continents, and it's the second time we come to USA, and the first time in Texas. So it's usual for us to tour, let's say, about 10 or 15 times a year. And this time, it was this festival in Dallas, a good opportunity for us to discover Dallas. With snow, which is of course a bit perturbing and surprising for us. We know actually this Teatro Dallas since some years. We met in another festival, I think it was in Spain, because you know in university theater festivals people cross very often, and we meet every year new figures, but also old friends. And we became friends, and we invited Teatro Dallas to our own festival in Liège some years ago. And this is an exchange, if you like. She found it normal to give us back the invitation, and that's why we are so glad to be here. It is a novel, not a novel, a short story by Kafka. And it is written as if somebody, in fact an ape who became a man, tries to explain to an academy, to people, to scientists, how he became a man from his ape nature, how he had to become a man. I cannot say more than that. That's really the plot and the pitch of the story. Of course, it was important for us to keep the text of Kafka, because a writer is a writer because he writes, and so the words are very important. But we had to make it very vivid also and very visual, since we tour a lot abroad and very often in countries where they don't speak French. We have to make it sufficiently understandable, even for people who doesn't get all the words we are saying. The important thing to know about Kafka, and many people don't know that, Kafka was not so sad as you can imagine. I mean, when he happened to read his stories to people, he made them very often laugh. And that's why we tried also to make our communication to an academy very, very funny. Let's say it's seriously funny and funningly serious. See, because of course the theme of the play, of the short story, is very serious. It speaks about man actually, but through the speech of an ape, of a pretended ape. But he made it in a very funny way. His experience as an ape turns to be a kind of ridiculous image of man actually. And that's why we trust in our show. It's really, I would say, it's not at all tragic. It's, at the contrary, let's say, humoristic. It's trying to imitate man, but he needs a way out of his nature, because he's not in the forest anymore. So since the men have captured him and brought him in their world, he looks a way out of his nature, or of his ape nature, and so he is bound to become a man. That's the irony of Kafka and his humor, his particular humor, of course. So the man has become a man because he had to do so. It's not a question of creature or of creation or of, well, it's a bit like Darwinism, if you like. It's more Darwin than God, I would say. It's very interesting for us because the last time we played it, not the last, but the second last time we played it, it was in Hungary, and it was an absolutely non-French speaking audience, and it was very, very funny. I mean, the audience was reacting the whole time. And 2 months after that, we had to play it in France, and we said, we are glad finally the audience will understand what we say. And curiously, the audience was much more attentive, and so didn't react on the same way. They were very attentive, but not so. They were not so expressive, I would say, during the play. So it's very interesting to see how, if the audience doesn't get all the words, not all the sentences, they are more attentive on what is going on. And if they kept more the words, maybe the acting is less interesting for them. I don't know. It's very interesting for us to notice that. We have performed this in Israel, in Jordan, in Russia, in Germany, in Hungary, in Lithuania, etc. And it's always the same, you know. When people they come with us, they are in the play, but not in the same way if they understand everything or not. And that's what is very interesting in theater itself, is that theater is, like the Greeks said, theatron, given to see, to be seen. It's really, the theater exists only on the stage, I would say, only when it is staged. Theater is only a text at the beginning, and the text is only, well, some writings on a sheet of paper. That's not theater. That's only that's only theoretic, I would say. And when it comes on the stage, it really starts to live, and then every audience is different. Even in the same country, every audience is different. It depends on the location, it depends on the weather outside, it depends on so many things, on the age also of the people. We have also performed this for children or for teenagers, let's say, and the reactions are always very, very vivid, but always different.